Hello, I'm Connor Zipfel. Welcome to my presentation regarding the implications of information availability and aggressive growth efforts on the automotive industry. Let's get started. The automotive industry has been largely in flux since its inception in the early 20th century with Henry Ford and the Model T. More recently, however, the industry has been changing due to its sales strategy, in which manufacturers are transitioning to volume-based car and parts sales targets rather than ones rooted in gross profits. In other words, although manufacturers have always sought growth to satisfy owners and stockholders, they have historically been able to achieve their corresponding goals through the sales of new cars, which warranted high profit margins due to consumer demand outweighing manufacturer production, as well as a lack of information availability, which limited the extent to which consumers could shop prices. These factors meant that as of the late 90s or so, marketing campaigns and efforts to keep customers loyal were the driving force behind customer retention and sales. With the continuous growth exhibited by automotive manufacturers over the course of their lives, however, production of automobiles is now equal to or exceeding consumer auto demand. Furthermore, the introduction of the internet changed the way consumers shop as it allows them to perform advanced searches of dealer inventory to find the lowest possible price or exact item which they're shopping. This increases price competition as most customers are willing to walk out on a sales agreement over a difference of $200. Ultimately, all of this translates into the notion that the dealer profits must increasingly come from activities besides sales, meaning that dealers must find other ways to stay profitable so as to continue their growth trends, to keep stockholders happy, and mitigate buyout risks. It is important to note, however, that despite these market changes, dealers often do not want to relinquish their sales profit margins. Indeed, from a financial first glance standpoint, it doesn't make sense to completely sell cars near the acquisition cost, as this shifts the profit margin downward and can ruin its return on sales metric. However, manufacturers are instructing that dealers must look at the bigger picture, not just the sale alone, to understand the ways in which profits can be earned. Furthermore, because the level of volume necessitated by the manufacturer is so high, dealers often find that they are required to sell some of their cars at or below the wholesale cost. But note that in general there is an average of 2% profit per sale at dealerships after everyone has been paid. Therefore, it would not be feasible for dealers to adopt this volume approach alone. Thankfully, the manufacturer has developed a series of support incentives to assist the volume-based transition, which is applied to activities pertaining to the sales of new cars and the maintenance and repair orders of cars sold. Regarding manufacturer incentives to assist in achieving dealer sales volume increases, manufacturers give bonuses and reimbursements to dealers who hit their sales volume targets. For example, the manufacturer would say that for the sale of X cars, they would award the dealer $100,000, and for the sale of Y cars, they would award the dealer $200,000. Furthermore, the manufacturer provides added value payments or holdback money to the dealer per sales unit. For example, every car sold by a dealer might warrant a 5% AVP reimbursement from the manufacturer. Furthermore, although the finance center does not receive manufacturer incentives, it is important for the dealers to consider the profit center status exhibited by the finance office, which adds profits to dealer car sales due to increased finance rates and offering of additional sales items. Similarly, regarding manufacturer incentives to assist in achieving dealer parts and after-sales volume increases, manufacturers give bonuses to dealers who hit their parts volume targets. Specifically, manufacturers for a certain brand know that statistically revenue per repair order is $800 on average. Manufacturers then consider that the nation average labor retention rate is 75% and awards dealers who achieve this amount on gross labor profits with a bonus. Furthermore, the manufacturer knows that there exists a 30% gross profit on parts sales, and dealers who achieve this metric receive a bonus to encourage all dealers to achieve at least 55% gross profits on repair order. Finally, manufacturers coach dealers to achieve above average metrics for the gross profits percent of sale, or gross profit divided by the sale amount, to illustrate that sometimes hidden but important value in customer throughput and selling cars to increase repair work. Regarding the manufacturer-mandated targets and developing an action plan for achieving them, it is important to track all information pertinent to each dealer and assess the effectiveness of each at reaching its targets. Specifically, manufacturers assess dealers on the basis of their growth, customer satisfaction, dealer effectiveness, and after-sales innovation using a balanced scorecard approach. Similarly, in assessing dealer performance in transitioning to successful operations as a volume-focused car sales and service provider, manufacturers utilize metrics such as annual volume and parts targets, lead conversion, dealer sales loyalty, dealer effectiveness, and service effectiveness. In assessing dealer performance and transitioning to successful operations as a volume-focused car sales and service provider, manufacturers analyze the dealer financial statements to provide guidance for decision-making. This allows the manufacturer to determine how to effectively coach the dealer to improve its balanced scorecard metrics. For example, the manufacturer could support meetings to discuss common customer pain points and how to mitigate them, or they could implement cost control activities such as hiring business development centers to perform duties on an as-needed basis. Finally, manufacturers could support after-sales innovation through implementation of programs such as technician videos, in which the technician films themselves working on the car for the customer and explicitly shows each part needed to perform repairs. This activity alone has been shown to increase service revenue by 40%. Here we have an example of a balanced scorecard utilized by an auto manufacturer for the purposes of assessing dealer performance. You can see the relevant metrics outlined in the first column, followed by their assessment values, the corresponding comparison of these values against the benchmark, and the relative weightings. All this information is used to create a composite score for the dealer called the BSC index. Here we have an example sheet illustrating manufacturer-mandated dealer targets and their corresponding calculations. These line items are used by the manufacturer to coach the dealer by showing them how they compare to the nation average performance and what steps could be taken to improve below average performances. This slide shows a continuation of the previous slide in which the manufacturer is seeking to present the dealer with information needed to motivate them to take effective steps at achieving a successful transition to volume-based sales while boosting their own profits and obtaining manufacturer bonuses for doing so. Additional means in which automotive manufacturers provide support to its dealers are with regard to the reimbursement of marketing funds, as these are shown to increase customer throughput. Additionally, manufacturers recognize dealers with the best balanced scorecard per region by administering to them the Center of Excellence Award, which carries national recognition and marketing perks. Finally, manufacturers can perform audits to ensure dealers comply with their specified plans to steer business performance in the right direction. Professionals note that the future outlook of the automotive industry is that this drive for sales volume will not subside, and that dealers who implement it will take over the business and drive out dealers who choose not to participate. Here are my references. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.